So, are we recording?
We are live recording. We are broadcasting right now.
Okay, so now
I'm going to cut this little beginning anyway until something.
You should actually. That's good.
Yeah, right. Well, I can. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, smile.
And that's it. Just like that. That's it. And you cut it.
Not beat your chest. A little bit? No?
That hurts.
Not.
Don't get all crazy. Punch yourself in the nuts.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us here. My name is Ian Gray, and I'm the founder of Evolved Lyfe, which is a movement that's a way of living, which, believe it or not, you probably are. If you are watching this right now, you are actually already part of my tribe. Yeah. It's really a way of living where you're following what your purpose is, what your destiny is, and surrounding yourself with people that are supporting you in that path. So that's two of the key components here. But I'm here today.
That's a good way to put it.
You like that?
I like that. It sounds good.
Awesome.
You nailed it.
Good job, yes.
Continue.
All right. I know what I'm doing.
Imagine that.
So this interruption stuff will probably happen all throughout this because I'm here with my dear friend, Roman Garcia, who is a stand-up comedian. He tours all over the country in comedy. He has a radio show. He's got a bridal shop. He has some stake in a insurance agency.
A little bit of everything.
This guy does so much stuff all the time, and I wanted to bring him on because he's going to be speaking at the Evolved Lyfe event here coming up at Geekdom Saturday, September 9th. It's from 5 to 9 p.m. So definitely check that out. You can check on our Facebook page for details on that event. He's actually going to be speaking on some of the tools that allowed him to create a tremendous amount of success. And I'm just so excited to have him here. So, Roman, why don't you give the audience here a little bit of a feedback and kind of what you're all about and what you're thinking?
Well, thank you for those kind words, first of all. But no, that's it. You know, Ian, I'm so glad you're doing this because there's so much to cover. The Saturday event, we're not going to be able to get to everything. So I'm glad we're able at least to throw in a few things here and there. And a lot of people, the way they do know me is they know me as, Roman Garcia, kind of comedian. And Roman Garcia, kind of television guy, because I've spent years working with local television, things like that, and still do. But a lot of people don't know that. Yeah, I do have some business on the side that I run. They don't know about a lot of the other things I do. And so I'm glad that I'll have the opportunity to share because growing up, there was things I had in my mind that I felt I wanted to do with my life, but there were things outside of the norm. It was when I was a kid. I remember one time in middle school, I was getting on the bus. A friend of mine came up to me and he handed me a piece of paper and a pen. He goes, "Hey, give me your autograph." I go, "What?" He goes, "Give me your autograph." I go, "For what?" He goes, "Because one day you're gonna be a famous comedian." That was so weird. I was in middle school and I was just kind of being me. But he said that, and it's funny because then my mind started to think those things, and even younger, I found myself writing out bits and jokes and stuff, but then life happens. And I went into the corporate world for a lot of years in the insurance business, which is funny because when I was about 19 years old, someone approached me and wanted me to get involved in the insurance business with them. They were looking for kind of young people to train and stuff and get licensed. And I said, I will never be in the insurance business. That's the most boring thing I could ever imagine doing. I'd rather slit my wrists. And so... But then years later,
a knife.
Right. So he told me, "Just go kill yourself, punk." So, but then years later, it became the thing I did, which is weird because it was the thing I was so against. But it just shows how sometimes out of necessity or certain things, we fall into an occupation, and maybe it's not really what we wanted to do with our lives.
Yeah, you definitely you have the gambit of different careers. Like we've talked, you've worked in call centers. Mm-hmm. You did moving, right? Was you moving?
Worked in a pawn shop. I used to clean toilets.
Landscaping.
Everything.
And this is all stuff that you did, and it took you off your path of doing what you do best, which is really comedy and bringing light to the world. Because you do humor, but you don't just do humor in a way of just pointing the finger at somebody else. It's usually pointing the finger at yourself and joking around about your vulnerabilities and your insecurities because you bring that stuff to light for other people and they realize, oh wait, I do that too, and that is kind of funny.
It's things we all share, and so I think it's why people connect with it because it's things we all We all do. And again, kind of like what I was saying too with the job thing, like out of necessity, and you got to pay bills, you start doing a certain thing. But then the problem is we allow ourselves to get so caught up in that we do lose sight of what maybe we're really meant to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the thing you're supposed to do, there's nothing wrong with staying in the insurance business or being an accountant or being the guy cleaning the toilets. Nothing wrong with that if that's what's to be your thing. But if something else is to be your thing, and out of security and fear, you stay on something that's really not for you, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to have that evolved life where you feel day to day excited about what you're doing. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and what I commonly refer to as your thing is your purpose. That whisper that we all have in the back of our minds, and some of us have it, it's a roar, and we hear it every single day, and we wake up and we're just motivated to go tackle the world. And that's where I'm really pushing myself to be, is to wake up that whisper and make it as loud as possible and fully express myself and encourage other people to do it, because the more that I listen to it, the better my life becomes.
Yes.
So whatever your thing is or what your purpose is, right, you may not even know at this point. You might have gotten so far off track that you forgot about it.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me.
Yes.
It happened to you?
That's what happened to me, because I was in the insurance business for a number of years. I just kind of as an independent agent, and I went to a corporate job. Good job, good salary, benefits, pension plan, 401k, whole 9 yards. And I was not happy. After a while, I went, on Sunday nights, when I thought of getting up and going to work on Monday morning, my stomach was turning. I mean, I was just like, I can't do this. But I had to, because what else am I going to do? I mean, I'm in a job that a lot of people would like to have. And so
somebody else should have that job. Because
right.
If somebody else would like to have that job, you're doing a disservice by staying in it, because you're not doing it fully with your expression of yourself, and you're doing it to your level of mastery, because you don't love it. So if this resonates with you, just comment right now, like, I want to chase my purpose.
Yes.
I want to, whether you're doing it right now or you feel like you need to move towards it, just writing that down. So write it down in the comments right now, I want to chase my purpose. Or if you know what your purpose is, say, my purpose is X, Y, Z, whatever it is.
Yes.
And there's no judgment. It's whatever feels and calls to you. So it doesn't matter if it's a job that somebody else might consider like way out there insane. If it's an astronaut, like if that's what you want to do, guess what? Now's the time you start doing it. And by putting it down on paper or putting it down in comments below, it's going to actually help you move towards that.
You're putting it out there.
Right. So what got you to get back on the path? Now you're experiencing this pain, the turning of the stomach, and I've been there too, and I'm sure people watching.
Yeah, and it's funny. And it's funny you say that kind of about, like you said, it could be a job or something that's outside of the norm. Because imagine how my wife felt when I came to her and said, "I want to be a comedian."
I got this great paying job with all these benefits. We have
kids,
five kids at the time, and I'm going to quit my job to be a comedian.
She's a homemaker. I'm the only one bringing in income, and I come in saying, I want to be a comedian. And
she's like, yeah, you're real funny.
I want to be a comedian. Get to work. Right, there's your first joke right there, Roman. Yeah, get back to work. So it was off the wall. But, obviously I didn't just go quit my job that day, but I started working and taking a step towards my passions. I started writing. I started doing open mics. I started doing things. And what's interesting is that confirmation that I was on the right path kept coming, because then things were opening up. One of the first times I was asked to do just a little 5-minute kind of opening set at a pretty big comedy event. I was asked to do this. I don't even remember who reached out to me. Someone says, "Hey, heard blah, blah, blah about you, and would you come to this thing?" And so when I was fixing to go on stage, it was a big crowd. This is the kind of biggest show I had done to this point, because at that point I had just been doing open mics. I'd be in a place where they put me on last because I was the new guy.
Right.
And the only ones there were like me and the bartender, and I'm just talking to empty chairs. But in my head, I envisioned those chairs being full. And so when I went up to do this show, to do this little 5-minute set, a friend of mine who happened to be there, I was about to go on stage, and she said, "Are you nervous?" And I said, "No." She says, "You're not nervous? I can't believe you're not nervous. And there's a lot of people here." And she knew that, again, I hadn't done a show like this before. And I said, "No, I've seen this in my head a lot of times already. This isn't new to me. This isn't my first time performing for all these people, because I've seen it up here every time I've done a set, even to an empty room. So that's the thing. Things start happening, things start moving in your life to where even the challenges that start coming are moving you towards your destiny. Because sometimes you got to get kicked out of the nest.
Right.
So what happened at my job one day, I had a manager call me on the wrong day. And I didn't quit that day. But she pushed me to the point of where I said, I got to go. And that's when I made plans and set a date to be out of there. So again, sometimes
you had a defining moment because somebody came and made your life a little bit more difficult, which is like a trigger point, which we all are experiencing like massive scale now. We just had this gas epidemic where people just went nuts over something that shouldn't have been, and it actually created a problem as a result of people being in that mindset. But being triggered like that is actually a good thing. Being challenged and having this controversy is such an important thing because it's necessary for our growth. Because if we were all just like happy exactly where we were, like we'd just be androgynous and just like laying on the couch all day and just being in bliss. We might as well not even be in this physical realm, right? Might as well just be in heaven, right? Never even incarnate in these bodies.
Right, and giving what, you know. I remember when I was a kid one time, it was when I was a teenager, and at that time I wanted to have a rock band, and I did. I had a band, I had all this stuff.
Yeah, you still play.
And I still play.
I heard you the other day.
Yeah.
He's really good. He's an amazing drummer too.
Again, that's one of those things, you know, it's one of those passions I want to pursue, but right now, you know, it's one of the side things, but I know its time will come, you know. And so, but I remember my dad and I had this conversation, and I told my dad, I said, I don't want to just exist, I want to live. And that's the thing. We got to look at ourselves. Are we existing or are we really living? Because it's easy to just exist and get to the end of the road and you go, well, at least I made it. You know, no. You're worth more than that. And you have more to give than that. Again, whatever you're doing, that's fine. Whatever you choose to do is fine. But no, you need to at some point know in your heart, I am really doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right, and what happens is, you know, Roman was saying how he had this little incident and it was like, I need to get out of here. And he had already started working towards his dream of becoming a comedian. So when he got on stage, he had to rehearse this in his mind so many times. And he went and did the open mics, and these new opportunities came up. And then also these other things pushed him out of what he was doing. And if you're not taking steps towards your goals right now, and it's scary because you have a great job and you have good benefits and you have a good quality of life, but you're not feeling called to what you're doing, then I would strongly encourage you just do even the bare minimum. Just pick up a book on what you want to start doing, or watch a movie on it. There's tons of YouTube tutorials, or take an online course on how to do it, or go to like one of the trade show events that in that industry and just start meeting people, because you don't go anywhere if you're still in park. So you can take the smallest step. It might even just be writing down in a book what you want to actually have happen. And actually, this is perfect segue because Roman's going to be talking about visualization and some of the strategies that he's used to actually manifest like exactly what he wanted.
Right.
So maybe that's perfect time. Maybe talk a little about your vision board that you're going to share with everybody at the event.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you brought that point up because it reminded me of something. Okay, so again, in preparation for this event, and I'm updating a vision board, a new vision board. And
why don't you tell them what a vision board is? Because not everybody's going to know what that is.
Basically, you take it can look a little crazy, and it can almost look juvenile, because you're basically going to take pictures of the things you desire, your objective, whether it be a certain home or a certain car or a certain lifestyle. You're going to take pictures, you're going to cut out words, and you're going to put them on a board. You're going to just glue them on there and then just go laminate that thing, and something you keep with you that you can see. Because I heard someone kind of describe it in this way that imagine trying to piece together a puzzle, but you never had a picture of what it was supposed to look like at the end. So you've just got pieces and you don't know what to do with them.
Write that down now in the comments. Piece together the puzzle of my life.
Yes, exactly. Because that's what it is. So I equate a vision board to this puzzle. So, but you're seeing the end result. You're seeing what the puzzle's supposed to look like once it's completed. Now your life is going to be gathering those pieces, putting it together, and this is going to be your final thing. you will get so excited making a vision board. And so I made one when I was in my 20s, early 20s, and I had it with me for quite a while, and then it got put away. It got boxed away with stuff when we moved from one place to another. And so years and years later, my wife is cleaning out stuff, and she found it, and she showed it to me, and she said, everything that's on here, you got. And I looked at it. There's this nice house on there and I didn't even notice until she showed me. You see right here in the corner, a Hummer parked. And it's funny because we had taken a picture together of something like that. The Porsche I wanted, it was there. Even my wife, there was a picture of her, but then there was a picture of a woman on the beach in Hawaii looking out over the water. And if you looked at it from the back, that looks like Roman's wife. The same hair, the same shape, the skin color, everything. And so it's amazing how this worked. So
you put a hottie on there.
I put a hottie on there, of course.
And now you got one.
Now I got one. So there you go. Yeah.
So one of the things you're going to do is actually show people how you piece this together during the event and show them what they can do. You're going to bring that with you.
I'm going to bring that with me. I'm going to bring my new one. And to also show you how once you've gotten to a certain point, you just set newer and bigger.
It evolves.
It
like
really does.
Life.
An evolved
right.
life. It really does. And how your thinking changes. And so it's easy to tell someone when they're struggling for money to say it's not about money. People used to tell me that all the time. It's not about money. And I will go, okay.
That's because you have
money. But honestly, I can tell you now, it ain't about money. Money enhances what you are. Me and God, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Money enhances what you are, but it's about what the money, what it brings. Money's just a thing. But what you don't want necessarily money, but what you want is what? Time freedom. Freedom to enjoy your life and have experiences and do the things you want to do. Be able to pay the things you got to pay without having to stress out and worry about it because you need that mental energy to do other things.
Right? Yeah, because every moment you spend stressing about something is a moment that you could actually be putting towards your goals. And the easiest way to get you back on track is having something like a vision board or a goal book or both of them. I strongly encourage that. Yeah. I mean, the more of this stuff that you have coming in at you and reminding you of what's important to you, the more chances it's going to actually happen for you. And the really cool thing about this that I think a lot of us don't learn when we set goals the very first time in school, when we first learn what goal setting is, it's like if you don't get your goals, you've failed. And a lot of times you'll be on the path to your goal and you'll realize actually that's not quite what I want. So the beautiful thing is with a vision board or a goal book, you can actually cross this stuff out, or just the vision board you just glue right on top of it. When you look at that vision board, that one thing, that picture is just not fitting with you anymore. And it might have served you to get you to where you are.
Yes.
You might not have gotten it, but you might have, you know what, I want to make a change here. You can just glue right on top of it.
Yes.
And what it sounds like it's happened for you is that the first vision board you did was really based around those things. Right? The things that you wanted to have because you wanted to experience something, but you thought having those things would actually make you experience these things. And it did to a certain degree, but now you were telling me you've transitioned from, there's actually fewer things on there, which is actually, this happened for my vision board that I did with my wife recently. There's very few things on there and actually more ideas.
Ideas and experiences, right. And emotions and feelings. Because one time someone told me that when I was young, they said, this guy's one of the first multimillionaires I ever had the chance to have a conversation with. And I remember he said, Roman, at some point, the cars only get so nice, the steaks only get so thick, the bed you're sleeping in only gets, so comfortable. Like, it's just, he goes, it's not about that. And again, I was like, yeah, okay, well, how about I start with those things, and then I'll decide.
And if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it.
You kind of need to, because you got to get through that.
Right.
It's like you got to.
There's a level of belief that there's more possible. So it's always like just getting to that next step. It's just like you're walking up a set of stairs. Right. It's just get to that next step. Sometimes you can jump 2 or 3 of them. Right. But going and doing that all the time, it becomes really difficult and overwhelming sometimes, unless you get some really strong legs, right?
It's part of your learning. It's part of your learning. It's part of the whole growth thing. Of those things come. In other words, when you start to really pursue your passions and you're doing what you're meant to do, money will come. And those things will come, and you can decide then, okay, which kind of route am I going here? But really, again, like I said, I'm glad you brought the vision board, because when I was redoing my board, I was getting so excited. I mean, just so excited, because I literally felt like I'm just mapping out my next year, 2 years. That's all. It wasn't even. It's not pie in the sky to me. It's not. It's like I'm just. What do you want, Roman? Put it down, and it's gonna come.
And then the cool thing is you can share that with your wife, and she can say, okay, what can I do to help along with this process? Even your kids, you can say, like, this is the picture I have in my life,
yes,
and let's help me work towards this direction of what I want. And if you do it together, what some people do, like Gabby, my wife and I are doing right now, we have our vision board together, and it actually has us united in what our goals are, and neither one of us have to actually compromise as a result.
Right.
We just make a bigger vision board. We just have more, and that power of two actually becomes much stronger. It's not just twice as strong as the power of one. It's
exactly
like
right.
It's like it's squared, or times 200, or times 1,000. It's insane what you can do together. We're better.
Right.
And that's part of the reason why I brought Roman on this on this live feed here tonight and brought him into the show, because he is actually living an evolved life, and it's just so amazing to see what he's accomplished. You know, with the current vision board now, you've gone back to this. And you've already made some serious changes or intentions to make changes that have motivated you. So maybe you want to share a little about some of the things that you weren't even thinking about doing, and actually a lot of them are some of the similar things that I'm doing.
Yeah, it's funny, how you and I kind of seem to be in the same place as far as our thinking on certain things. And so one of the big things, one of the big changes we're making, and it's funny you mentioned the vision, we're doing it together. Yeah, my wife and I, we're on the same page for a lot of these things that are on there. There may be some small subtle things. You know, she doesn't desire to go out and speak to people and share and all that, but you know, some of the other stuff she's on there. But the big thing is we decided, hey, let's sell the house and let's just travel and let's just go and speak to people and simplify those things that we have.
Right.
And so this house that I desired to have when I was 21 years old, and I have it now, and if anything, have built it beyond what I thought I would have, and I've been there almost 20 years now. That was a certain stage in my life. My kids were getting older, raising the kids, but now they're all self-sufficient. I'm excited. All my kids work and they make their own money, and some of them are using their gifts to make their money, and to see them do that excites me. And so, but now we're at a place where we go, okay, now the stuff, let's simplify it. Let's move past that and really kick it up to a whole different level. And so to me, that was huge, because it had to come at the right time. And it's funny because you were doing something similar, and it was already in my head. And then when you mentioned what you were doing, I said, you know what, man, I've been thinking the same thing. So now actually both you and I have our houses on the market.
And we have no idea where we're going.
We don't know where we're going.
We're not going together. Or maybe we will.
I don't know. We don't know. But what is like-mindedness on certain things?
It gives you a level of support,
right?
Yes. And that's what happens to a lot of us is we'll set out goals and dreams and what we want to accomplish. And then we go right back to doing what we were doing before with the same people we were with before. And they want you to be the same. They like you the way that you are, even if they tell you they don't.
Right.
They don't necessarily want you to be better than them, unless you have a really great group of people around you. But typically it doesn't happen by accident. So if you do, consider yourself so incredibly blessed.
Yes.
What we're really building with Evolved Lyfe is a tribe. It's a community where you can actually interact with other people that are going to support you and help you along your path. And they're not going to tell you what to do, but they're going to tell you a way that you can have it accomplished from almost like more of an energetic standpoint. So they're not going to, in some cases they might say, take these 5 steps, but really the reality is the intention and the energy that goes along with it is so incredibly important. And it's very hard to have that stuff come in if you're hanging on to what you already have. So a perfect example of that is the first thing that we had to do when we put our house on the market was we had to declutter it. It only took a few hours, and my wife had 5 bags of clothing.
Right.
And the way she actually did this declutterization method for her stuff is anything that didn't bring her immediate joy when she looked at it or tried it on was get out of here. Unless it was like some weird necessity, like I have some ties. You probably won't ever see me in a tie.
I know, dude.
And I don't really like any of my ties.
I used to hate wearing ties.
It's like, why? What is the point of this? But, some people really do like, and every once in a while we'll dress up, and I even have my tux from when I was in high school, and I'm going to save that because every once in a while I need a tux, and believe it or not, I actually still fit
look
into
at
it.
you, humble brag.
Not to brag here, but the reality is, if you start looking at the things that bring you joy, those are the things you want to hang on to, because you want more things that bring you joy. And the things that don't are the things that you can start to let go of. And when you start doing that, it frees up your time. It frees up wasted energy on things that gave you stress, and actually it just puts you in a better mood more often. So anytime I go in the closet now, anything I pick off the hangers.
When you're wearing curtains, you're serious about simplifying your life.
That's my cape.
Yeah, you're just Superman.
Well, actually, some people have seen me in my yoga pants. I think they're curtains, right, or a tablecloth. But when I go and grab something off the hanger, anything out of the closet, like I know that I can wear it and I'm going to actually feel good about it. It's not like I have to sit there and make a decision. So it makes it really simple to go in there and do that. And that's just in a very, very small scale. And you're doing quite a bit of that right now,
Yeah,
too.
we're going through that decluttering thing, and it's amazing. Like I said, same thing, how many kind of bags of clothes and how many times have I gone in that closet and looked at that same shirt and going, I'm not going to wear it, but I keep it. Why? Why am I keeping it? Or because I lost weight, so I had a lot of stuff that's too big for me now. But I still kept it going, okay, maybe I'll have someone tailor it, or maybe I'll, just get rid of it. Somebody else could use that, bless somebody else with it. So,
right.
And then just stuff. So again, mentally, it has already freed me up knowing that I'm just flushing all that stuff out, less stuff. And along the way, as we are packing up stuff and boxing up stuff and getting rid of stuff, I am finding things that did bring me joy that were, because I had so much stuff, it was shoved in a drawer somewhere, or shoved in, and I went, oh, this thing. But it's amazing. See, when you get the junk out of the way, you'll find the stuff that matters. And that's kind of what's happening right now. We're finding the stuff that matters. And so it's a big shift. But whenever, in my life personally, I have to say, whenever I've moved something to a next level, in a big level, there's always been a big decision prior to that and a big shift. And so this is not new. This is something I've experienced, but just in different ways. And so I'm excited that now it's time for that whole new level.
Right. You got to disrupt what your rhythm is and what you're accustomed to. So you have to let go of some of those things to make room for new things to come in. And you also have to free up your time. So it's amazing though, because what happens is, why you change one area of your life, it actually goes in other areas, because you lost, was it 40 pounds you told me? Yeah, 40 pounds. 40 so he's not physically carrying around, he's carrying around 40 pounds less. Yes. And you put on quite a bit of muscle in this process.
About 10 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
And again, it's the things that, and it'll go too long on that, but again, even the way that came about was, I knew I needed to make a change. I knew I needed to do something. And there was a way I wanted to go, and I was thinking about, at some day, but then someone approached me on it, and they brought it to me. And then next thing you know, it wound up changing my whole life as far as physical health and all that. It just, again, I knew what I wanted. I hadn't got, but I saw it in my head, and I knew what I wanted Roman to be. And then someone came to me and brought me what I needed. It's awesome how that happens. Like, you will, and again,
many of you are probably already doing this. Actually, every one of you.
Your daily affirmations are so important.
Absolutely.
Because that stuff will come to you. Tell yourself things like, hey, right now in a meeting somewhere, someone is talking about me to offer me an opportunity. Say that. Put that. And it's funny how these things will just come. And
one of my favorites is, money comes to me from known and unknown sources. And if you watch some of my previous videos, if you haven't, definitely check them out. Yeah. And you know what? Write this down. Money comes to me from known and unknown sources. I practice this. Every single time I practice this, I get a check in the mail. Every time I have to talk about this, it reminds me of, why am I not practicing this every day?
Every day.
Like the first one that I got when I first started doing this was like, I think it was a check for about, I think it was like $2.03 or something like that, from AT&T with a class action lawsuit. Right. I was a customer, and I'm like,
right. Still
$2.03. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be really grateful for it, even though it's like nothing, because I've been asking for money to come. Guess what? 2 days later, a $10,000 check.
Boom.
Another week later, a $25,000 check.
Yeah.
From somebody I loaned money to and I hadn't talked to in years, just sent me a $25,000 check. And I was just out of the blue, and it was amazing. And then, believe it or not, there came another check. I believe it was 43 or 46,000. When you get into these numbers, sometimes you forget exactly what it is, but you're just so excited that it's coming. And that was from taxes from like 4 years ago that I apparently had overpaid, that I didn't even know I overpaid, and all of a sudden, voila! And this all happened in the span of like 2 weeks from doing this. And every time I practice this stuff happens. So if you write this down and use this, if you like this one, it resonates with you. Money comes to me from known and unknown sources. You can make it opportunities come to me or experiences come to me from known and unknown sources. If you practice this on a daily basis,
it works.
Magic will happen. But you've got to make the first move.
Yes.
You really have to make the first move in this, because think of it like this. Right now you're getting all kinds of ideas. Those ideas of what you want to be, what you want to do, maybe you're not getting a ton of them, maybe you're getting 1 or 2 of them. If you don't move on them, you're not going to keep getting more ideas. Think of God giving you those ideas, or a higher power giving you those ideas, or the cosmic consciousness, whatever resonates with you, is giving you those ideas. And that higher power is like a CEO of a business. Mm-hmm. The CEO of a business is not going to keep giving ideas to the employees that don't execute on them. Actually, what they're going to do is take those ideas away and give it to somebody who's actually going to start moving on it.
That's right.
You don't have to do a huge step. The step can be as simple as making your vision board, or writing it down, or speaking about it more. And be careful who you speak to about it.
Commenting on this video.
Yeah, commenting on this video. Something that you are going to take action on right here, right now. Is when you get done, like, I am going to make a change in this area. I'm going to make the time to tear out a bunch of pictures from magazines and of things that I like, or print them out from the internet. There's no excuse to not do it unless you have everything you want.
Right.
And I have a lot of stuff that I love, and I have like money in the bank, and I have amazing experiences. I travel crazy, great health, really good friends, pretty funny ones too. Yet I still want more. Yeah. And the best way to do that is to eliminate the things that are not bringing me the joy, and then also bring into focus those things that I really, really want. And the way to do that, talk about it, write it down, make the vision board, put it into a goal list, and then take some action, some little actions, and the universe will always meet you halfway, and usually more than that.
Yes. And that's a good point about the halfway. Right. It's waiting there, like I said already, and you just gotta swim out to it, and it'll be there. And yeah, it's amazing what a little bit of action, or a lot of action right up front. Man, it's just the spark to that gasoline, and just boom, things start to happen literally from one day to the next.
Now people blow themselves up.
Right.
Yeah.
Do not play with gasoline.
Yeah. No,
Roman Garcia and her LLC is in no way responsible for accidents because but no, it's true. Just take some kind of action. With me sitting in a cubicle, I just started writing down my goals.
You know something funny that reminded me of? I was in a sales job. And one of the things that I had to keep me motivated was I had a postcard and a picture of the Blue Hole, which is just outside of Belize, and it's this cave that collapsed in the sea, and you can see it from space. It's this gorgeous thing. So definitely Google this. It's just amazing. I was like, one day I'm going to scuba dive that. And I put it there, and I pinned it up in my cubicle, and I'd stare at it while I sit there, and I'd make 300 dials a day. It was ridiculous. 3 hours of talk time, just like boiler room sales to the nines. It was insane, and not really a fun job, but it was very systematic, so it was very easy, but it took a lot of determination because it wasn't fun, and people didn't know you were calling, so they had a lot of hang-ups and mean comments. Right. But looking at that blue hole would make me so incredibly excited. Yeah. And I kid you not, it was about 5 years later, I found myself on Ambergris Caye. It was a random trip that I took with a girl I was dating at the time. And Ambergris Caye is off of Belize. And I'm there, and people start talking about scuba diving. And then all of a sudden I see scuba dive the Blue Hole.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm here. I'm getting chills just talking about it. Maybe you guys can see that.
I see it, man.
It's ridiculous, yeah. And I can't believe how it just lined up that way. And I took a crash course to get Patty certified. I was in no way in shape, like really prepared for this. To go down, I think it was 130 feet down into this cave. There's reef sharks. There's 6 feet. But if I didn't have that piece of my cubicle, I don't think that ever would have happened. And if it did happen, if I did end up there, I actually probably wouldn't have remembered about the blue hole. It would have been completely in a blind spot, because our opportunities are always right in front of us. But if we're focusing on the stuff getting away with it, the things that we feel as problems or the things holding us back, we amplify them, because the more attention you give something to it, you bring it more into your focus. So you get to choose. Do you want to amplify the things you want or the problems that you have? And I know that we're throwing out all kinds of content here that seems like it may be completely groundbreaking for you. Like, that seems crazy. There's no way. Just whatever resonates with you. You don't have to get all this. Your subconscious is getting every bit of this information. So it's perfect, because you're actually going to be able to start manifesting things when you start making these little changes. So just test what works with you, and it will all start to make sense that this is new type of information. If you know this stuff, then it's stay on, because quite honestly, the more we hear this, the better it is.
Yes, it reinforces what maybe some of you already know. And just as an example of people who are living it or doing it, and maybe you feel like, man, I've been doing it, I've had this thing out there, it hasn't happened. Just keep going with it, and also they'll be willing to follow a path. You can't sit there and take no action and say, well, I wrote a goal sheet, and now what? Action, right?
Yes.
And when you were talking about that, about Screw Dad, it reminded me of something that when my wife found that old vision board, I had, like I said, forgotten about a lot of these things. And so didn't relish in the moment when a lot of the things actually happened for me. Because it was already
appreciation.
It was already just like, as opposed to being able to go, oh my gosh, we just did it. Like, so much, it had already happened. And to where now I went, oh my gosh. And again, my thoughts were, why didn't I put more stuff? Or so, just bigger goal. But you got to get to a certain place. But the point being, we can be already in our thing. We can already be achieving and not even realize it, because again, like you said, that postcard maybe got put away somewhere and you forgot about it. But it's awesome because you still got there. But two, it can also happen on the negative side if you're just constantly envisioning
the worst.
And
which so many people do, and it's so easy to get caught up in this. There's so much media out there. Like, you watch the news. Like, my life changed drastically when I shut off the news.
Yeah.
So if you want to start taking in some better content than that, really, there's tons of books out there. There's tons of awesome people. If you are on this path or want to get started on this path, and you want to get surrounded by people that are in that positive mindset, then you have to come out on the 9th here, this Saturday, to Geekdom, because it's going to be a group of probably around 60, 70 people that are on this path, and they're looking for people to support them, but they're also looking to support other people, because when you give, you always get. So that's part of the reason why in this phase of our evolution, we want to give back and show people that there's actually an easier way to be. And you're going to get where you're going regardless. Like, you don't even have to come to this event. You will get there. But what this event and what Evolved Lyfe is, it gives you that support network and gives you tools, practical exercises that we use, that we've all tested, that we know work, and it accelerates your growth. So that's why I have this acceleration poster back here, because Evolved Lyfe is an accelerator to get you to where you want to go faster. And by being around people that have a like mind, that's going to help you even get there further. So we've all been around that person that's got the gripe session, right? And we've all probably been that person. I know I've been there, right? You could ask a few people. I've definitely had my days, right? But they're few and far between now, because I've been practicing this and I've been cutting out the nonsense, the things that give me anxiety, the things that give me stress. I start cutting that stuff out. Like, there's a commonality. There's always one person that is giving you the most strength and most pushing to go towards, and there's always one person on the other side that's holding you back the most. Maybe you don't want to be friends with that person anymore. Maybe that person's your boss and you just have to find a different way to deal with them, or less, or maybe you really have to quit your job. Whatever it is. And I'm not telling you to go out and quit your job without any kind of plan, because I don't want anybody in a bad situation. But when
because that's a good point, because I didn't just quit my job and go start doing comedy, I made a game plan of what am I going to do to get out of here? What am I going to do next? I left outside of that, started a business of my own. It gave me some flexibility, did some different, and so that's a whole other conversation. But the point is, yeah, you don't have to do something foolish, as far as like, oh, that's it, I'm just kidding. No, you gotta think, and you gotta understand things happen in the right time. They happen in the right time, but as long as you're taking some action. And so, and again, your association, who you're going to start being around, people that tell you you can't do it, people are going to say, no, that's ridiculous and crazy, or people who are going to support you. Because here's the thing, now, honestly, not all your friends, believe it or not, are cheering for your success. Because sometimes they feel threatened by it. And I think you hit on that a little earlier. Right. They can feel threatened by it even if they don't say it. And
usually they actually think they want to with a rational mind, but there's a part in their belief system that wants them to be better than you, because we have very strong egos at this point in society. So what ends up happening is they undermine their own success, and we're all guilty of this. Mm-hmm. So we undermine our own success at times in getting what we want because of some kind of belief system that's not really working for us. And we're going to talk about that at Evolved Lyfe and how to actually change those beliefs that are holding us back. Yes. And why they actually occurred in the first place, because there's some goodness that comes about them. Yeah. But back to Roman's point, they don't necessarily even know they're doing it. Most people are not conscious of they're not even conscious, but they're definitely not conscious of taking you off your path. So
because sometimes because they can't see it for themselves, like they don't have the belief or the vision to see it, and sometimes it's even out of maybe trying to protect you. Maybe it's a parent.
Yes.
Your mom or somebody could say, no, don't do that, because they're trying to be protective, because again, they don't see that it's possible. And so, good intentions, bad intentions, one way or another though, not everybody's going to be pushing for your success is the bottom line.
Yeah, and most of the time I think people have good intentions. That's a belief that I have. I think everybody actually really has good intentions, but they might have limited perspective. And that limited perspective is not going to allow them to see the opportunities. So you could have actually used that energy that you use when you actually started moving yourself forward, and that thinking, like, what am I going to do next, and just constantly like obsessing over thinking about it. If you weren't driven by that purpose, or you were surrounded by the wrong people or taking the wrong information, that same brain power would have been used to make it very true that you could never be who you wanted to be.
Right. And I have to say, so just to share a quick story, not to drag this on all day. Like I said, there's a lot of information, but we just want to share. We want to help and get this information out there. And that's again the whole reason for the seminar. And be sure you come. But one of the first, it hadn't been too long that I had left that corporate job. I mean, I've been out for a little while, but I had been doing my comedy, different stuff, and I got hired to do an event a little bit outside of town, and it was kind of cool because they sent a driver to pick me up in a nice black Lincoln Town car, and he drove me out to the event, did the event, and then he was driving me back, and as he drove me back, I passed by the old building where I used to work. I'm on the highway, and I'm looking over, and this event was kind of in the morning, and so at the time I was looking at it, I go, right about now, I'd have been taking my 20-minute coffee break. Mm. And I just thank the Lord that my life had moved in a different direction.
It's such a good feeling. And you guys probably have experienced that in some areas, and a lot of times we don't celebrate them, so you probably have a ton of wins already coming into this conversation. So one of the things that we're just going to encourage you to do is celebrate those wins even more, and don't lose sight of that, because you are making progress, even if it feels like things are difficult right now. Failure is only actually failure when you quit, when you actually give up. So we're here to cheer you on, and that's like a big piece of this is having people that support you in what you want to do and see you for your highest self and expand what you think is possible. Every single day, like I try to challenge myself what I think is possible for me, and it makes it a much more exciting way to live. And it doesn't mean that I feel bad because I haven't gotten there yet. Instead, it's like, okay, these possibilities exist. When I see Roman do something amazing, I don't feel like a jealousy or envy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do that too. This is like inspiring me to move towards that direction. So I want to help him because he's going to create some really cool stuff, and maybe I don't even want to do that. Like, I don't think I ever want to do stand-up.
You never know.
But Yeah, you never know, right? You never know. So
but it's a synergy and it's a connection, right? And you see a success of someone, and like you said, being part of the same tribe. It's a collective success, right? And we can feed off of that for each other. And if you don't, well, I'm not going to say if you don't have that right now, because now you do. If you're watching this, you're part of this. Feed off of what we're saying, because those wins can be your wins. And I like what you said about don't forget the fact that you've had wins if you had some, because sometimes you need that little seed of remembering a victory and grow off of that. And let that excite you to go, okay, if I had that win, I can have another win. And I can have an even bigger win. And now you start collecting all those wins in your mind and going, I can win. I can keep winning. I just got to keep doing what I did over and over and over and over.
Absolutely. Because what happens is we have this infinite universe of possibilities, and we get attached to one specific outcome, and it has to be exactly like that. And if we don't get exactly like that, we're like disappointed. But the reality is the universe knows better than we do. That higher power knows better than we do what's best for us. So if we can just actually enjoy the experience of working towards what we want most, that's where we start to become the highest and greatest version of ourselves. Yes. And the more that Roman and I or you can empower people to do that, the more that we act in this way, it actually has a ripple effect. Small stones create big ripples for a long period of time. So every single little thing that you do to improve your life is actually going to affect the people around you. Yeah. It's going to affect other areas of your life and the people around you speak to. Yes. So this is like the key to actually making the world a better place. Like, I truly believe the world is becoming a better place because I'm having conversations like this all day, and I see it actually happening. Yes. Whereas I used to watch the news. I watched Alex Jones. I was like Alex Jones junkie for a little while.
Freaked out all the time.
Oh my gosh! I was like, yeah, we're gonna build a bunker, like crazy, like. Yeah. So. And not to say that you can take things in for entertainment value, but a lot of times it's like having bad food, like it poisons you, or
right. It's going to affect you,
or getting caught, like catching a cold. You catch fear, the fear mongering that goes out there. So the more you can put yourself in a bubble of people that actually have positive things going on, that ripple effect becomes bigger and bigger, and we want you to be part of our bubble.
Yes.
I was going to say that.
No, that's a great way to put it. That's right. Let's all create a bigger ripple effect.
Yeah.
And let's be a bubble.
Yeah. So let's tell everybody a little bit about who else is going to be speaking. Do you want to talk about Cleto and
Yeah. So my good friend Cleto Rodriguez, Ian's wife Gabrielle, and myself will be speaking. Cleto, a lot of people. Again, know him as a comedian, but they don't know about his upbringing. He had a pretty tough upbringing, and he's been able to use humor to allow him to get through tough times. Even recently, with some personal, family things that have happened, he uses humor and incorporates it into his stand-up, and so that's a great, powerful tool. Humor heals, laughter heals, and so he's going to be talking about that.
That's medicine,
and it really is, and so. And obviously it'll be funny because it's Cleto. He can't not be funny. So, but we are excited too that my friend and great.
Unless you're married to him, right? Yeah, you're married to him apparently,
and you're over it real quick. It's true. You just like shut up already. But my friend and host of Great Day SA, Christina Blackwell, is going to MC for us, and it's funny because when we were talking about the event, actually I'll be on this week talking about it, and. But she says, Roman, either way, I'm coming. Even if I didn't MC it, I'm coming. Because she got so excited when we were talking about kind of what everybody's topics were going to be. So she says, you know what, either way, I'm there. She goes, then I'm bringing a few friends with me. So it's going to be awesome. And so she's super excited. And she is another just very positive-minded person, great spirit. And so I'm glad that she's going to be emceeing the event for us. So it's just going to be an awesome all-around, well-rounded. I think just a lot of different kind of angles that people are coming from. So. And
she's a looker too. So even if you just want something for your eyes,
if you get tired looking at me and Ian,
right,
she'll balance it out.
You have to really get tired looking at us.
No, between her and Gabriella, it'll balance.
People are watching right now. Of course, you're not tired. You're sharing this, right? I hope you guys are sharing this for us too. Could you hand me one of those pictures, any one of those three right there, and I'll tell them a little about Gabrielle.
Sorry, I'll get to see my butt for a minute.
Lucky audience here. So this is my wife, Gabrielle Gray. This picture is obviously she's with me when my hair was in so many different colors. She is actually a love and relationship coach, and she really focuses on using the divine feminine energy. And we actually, all men and women, both have feminine and masculine energies, but she focuses on helping women really harness that power of their divine feminine energy. And it's been a really interesting thing to see, because it's made me be a better man, and it made me be more in tune with who I am in the different areas that I have my energies. So it's helped me to step up even as a guy. So there's stuff, normally she just works with women and really helps them to get very centered so that they can use that feminine energy to attract the man of their dreams. And it's really cool to see how she does it and see the progress she has with women. It's just like, she typically works with women that are very, very successful in some area of their life, which in this masculine dominated world, that in business, you got to be in masculine energy. You got to have goals as a masculine energy. Having ends and beginnings to things is masculine energy, or boundaries, or being on time. Feminine energies is more of that creation, that nurturing, that expansion. So when a woman gets into that feminine energy, what actually ends up happening is she attracts a man to her and actually draws a man that's in his masculine energy. If a woman is in her masculine energy, like she's at work, she has all her goals, and then she comes home and she has her to-do list and her goals. A lot of times, if she's with a masculine man, they're going to end up not having that polarity, and they'll be butting heads of who's in charge, right? And we all know who's in charge. It's always the woman, right?
It always is.
The truth is. But
that's a good point, though, for the woman to be able to understand that she is in charge and doesn't have to fight to be in charge.
Right.
That's
a matter of allowing it to be.
Allow a man to be a man in certain things, because men want to, and here's a shocker, ladies, men want to please women. We do. I mean, men go to war for women. Men paint.
If war for women, we still be in caves.
Right, exactly. Right? Me and Ian wouldn't even shower today. But
Oh, you showered?
That's the water hose doesn't count. So, but that's the thing, is that she teaches that, which I thought is awesome. That she has a way of, I know with conversations I had about you, to where Ian wants to come and do for her. He wants to please his wife. He wants to do things for her.
It gives me space to allow, because most men want to, but they don't necessarily have the space.
Right.
So she has a ton of exercises that women can use, and she's actually going to do a little breakout session, as long as we have time for it, where she's going to pull the women into a room and teach them some of these tricks. And guys, don't worry, you're going to love it. You're going to love it, because what's actually going to end up happening is you're going to have a little bit more space to do the things you want, and you're going to come back with so much energy to give to your woman, and you're going to be so excited about seeing her. And it's really, really neat, because what it ends up doing is it makes us step up as men, and women step up as women. And I don't even want to say step up, because that's a masculine thing to do. It allows women to just attract and bring out the best in us and nurture that in this energetic kind of way. So it's really cool to have her come up on stage. She speaks all the time, and I think
to hear her talk,
you'll enjoy it.
To hear her talk is awesome, because, like I said, I know me just listening to it, I get a lot out of it. So the women, y'all are going to love it. Y'all are going to love her. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we're actually going to do a video with her tomorrow night. So same time. So if you want to tune in, I'm going to do a little talk like this with my wife, Gabrielle, and you guys can see for yourself how freaking awesome she is. How lucky of a guy I am.
You're a lucky guy.
I am a lucky guy.
She's doing all right. She's doing all right too.
If you guys want any comments or anything, we can't see comments while we're doing this broadcast, and we will we'll either be trying to comment during this time we've either commented already, or we'll come back and we'll comment at the end here. We have some people helping with actually filling in these comments for you. So please share this. Please join us. The event Evolved Lyfe at Geekdom this coming Saturday from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Block it off. We're going to probably all go out for some drinks afterwards. I didn't even tell you about that.
Good to know.
So I'll tell you the secret location. It's a really, really nice location. I'm friends with the bar manager there, so he's going to give us the hookup.
Right, a little VIP area.
Yeah, absolutely. So, is there anything else you wanted to share, Roman?
No, I know we've covered a lot, and I think we both just get so excited about sharing. And so for those of you who are taking the time to listen in, or if you don't have the time to watch the whole thing right now, go back and kind of watch later when you have time. I really feel you'll get something out of it. But I can't wait to see everybody on Saturday and really get to kind of smile at everybody and shake some hands and see everybody's friendly faces and see everybody how they are going to leave. You know, ready to, boom, take that action, ready to start to move into that new evolved life. So
yeah, talking about simple steps. I mean, the simplest step you could take is going online and getting your ticket for Evolved Lyfe right now. It's $10 off if you do it online. It's $25 or $35 at the door. Yes. So we have limited capacity. I expect that it will be full based on the feedback that we've been getting right now. So definitely go grab your tickets, and that be your first step. And the next step is just showing up, and you're going to meet some amazing individuals. You're going to sit next to somebody that you never would have met before that's on this path, on this journey. That's going to be maybe your best friend, maybe your spouse, who knows.
Future business partner.
Future business,
anything.
It's amazing the relationships that are created in this type of environment because everybody's looking to be bigger than they were before. So please, of course, join us. If you want to learn more about Evolved Lyfe, watch some of the other videos on here. Check out evolvedlyfe.com. That's with a Y on life. So Lyfe. And also Roman has an amazing radio show. I just was on it last Saturday, and it was so much fun. There's so many characters, and it's just, I had trouble talking because I was just laughing the whole time. And as you can tell from this video, I don't have trouble talking the whole time. I'm just like hysterical in tears. Yeah. And so definitely check out his show. That's at 11 p.m. Saturday night.
11 p.m. Saturday nights on AM 550 KTSA, and then we live stream from the page also, the Roman Garcia Super Show. So just find us on Facebook, or you can go to romangarcia.com, and there's links to everything out there. So, but yeah, we'll keep in touch through that way.
Yeah, make sure you like his Facebook page. There'll be there's a link in it right now. So just check that out. Make sure you like it and see what he's doing. Come see us Saturday. You're going to meet amazing people, and we're going to be available as much as we possibly can to talk to as many of you as possible, answer any questions you have, and really. Hopefully you want to join the tribe and help build this, because San Antonio needs it. The world needs you. Needs it, because you're going to make some really cool stuff, and it's going to make my life better, and it's going to make Roman's life better, and we're going to keep making cool stuff, and it's going to make everybody else. It's happening already. So it's a matter of let's get on board and do this together, because together we are better.
We sure are.
That's it.
I think
that's all we got.
I think we're better together, you and I.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry that sounded a little familiar.
A little too comfortable?
Yeah. But thank you guys for listening.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Cheers.